Let us now turn to their circumstances and their victims. People do wrong, then, when they think that the deed can be done, and can be done by them, which is to say that they think either they can get away with it, or that if they are caught they will avoid punishment, or that if they are punished the penalty paid by themselves or those they care for will be less than their profits. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. What is a friend? A single soul dwelling in two bodies. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Hope is a waking dream. No great mind has ever existed without a touch of madness. Happiness depends upon ourselves. Excellence is never an accident, it is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Anybody can become angry, that is easy, but to be angry with the right person and to the right degree and at the right time and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power and is not easy. A friend to all is a friend to none. Wishing to be friends is quick work, but friendship is a slow ripening fruit. Happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. Those who educate children well are more to be honored than they who produce them, for these only gave them life, those the art of living well. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. He who has overcome his fears will truly be free. To perceive is to suffer. Those who know, do; those that understand, teach. The educated differ from the uneducated as much as the living differ from the dead. Whosoever is delighted in solitude, is either a wild beast or a god. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies, for the hardest victory is over self. Poverty is the parent of revolution and crime. The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. It is not enough to win a war, it is more important to organize the peace. The antidote for 50 enemies is one friend. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. The high-minded man must care more for the truth than for what people think. To write well, express yourself like the common people, but think like a wise man. One swallow does not make a summer, neither does one fine day. Similarly, one day or brief time of happiness does not make a person entirely happy. Learning is not child's play, we cannot learn without pain. Man is by nature a social animal. An individual who is unsocial naturally and not accidentally is either beneath our notice or more than human. Society is something that precedes the individual. Anyone who either cannot lead the common life or is so self-sufficient as not to need to, and therefore does not partake of society, is either a beast or a god. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Dwell on the beauty of life, watch the stars, and see yourself running with them. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Our life is what our thoughts make it. If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed. It is the person who continues in his self-deception and ignorance who is harmed. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinion of others. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself in your way of thinking. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous and surly. They are like this because they can't tell good from evil, but I have seen the beauty of good, and the ugliness of evil, and have recognized that the wrongdoer has a nature related to my own, not of the same blood and birth, but the same mind, and possessing a share of the divine, and so none of them can hurt me, no one can implicate me in ugliness, nor can I feel angry at my relative, or hate him. We were born to work together like feet, hands and eyes, like the 2 rows of teeth, upper and lower. To obstruct each other is unnatural. To feel anger at someone, to turn your back on him, these are unnatural. Reject your sense of injury and the injury itself disappears. Live a good life. If there are gods and they are just, then they will not care how devout you have been, but will welcome you based on the virtues you have lived by. If there are gods, but unjust, then you should not want to worship them. If there are no gods, then you will be gone, but will have lived a noble life that will live on in the memories of your loved ones. Religion is regarded by the common people as true, by the wise as false, and by the rulers as useful. We are in the habit of saying that it was not in our power to choose the parents who were allotted to us, that they were given to us by chance, but we can choose whose children we would like to be. You should rather suppose that those are involved in worthwhile duties who wish to have daily as their closest friends Zeno, Pythagoras, Democritus and all the other high priests of liberal studies, and Aristotle and Theophrastus. None of these will be too busy to see you. None of these will not send his visitor away happier and more devoted to himself. None of these will allow anyone to depart empty-handed. They are at home to all mortals by night and by day. Why be concerned about others? Come to that, when you've outdone your own self, set yourself a limit which you couldn't even exceed if you wanted to, and say goodbye at last to those deceptive prizes more precious to those who hope for them than to those who have won them. If there were anything substantial in them, they would sooner or later bring a sense of fullness. As it is, they simply aggravate the thirst of those who swallow them. But is life really worth so much? Let us examine this. It's a different inquiry. We will offer no solace for so desolate a prison house. We will encourage no one to endure the overlordship of butchers. We shall rather show that in every kind of slavery, the road of freedom lies open. I will say to the man to whom it befell to have a king shoot arrows at his dear one's prexasps, and to him whose master makes fathers banquet on their sons' guts harpagus, What are you groaning for, fool? Everywhere you look you find an end to your sufferings. You see that steep drop-off, it leads down to freedom. You see that ocean, that river, that well, freedom lies at its bottom. You see that short, shriveled, bare tree, freedom hangs from it. You ask, what is the path to freedom? Any vein in your body. Only a mind that is deeply stirred can utter something noble and beyond the power of others. There is no favorable wind for the sailor who doesn't know where to go. Why do I not rather seek some real good, one which I could feel, not one which I could display, these things that draw the eyes of men, before which they halt, which they show to one another in wonder, outwardly glitter, but are worthless within.